Hello everyone, I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April 1st. On today's show, we visit the Living Healthy discussion group, which meets every Tuesday. Tim Lochridge will tell us about a contract option, but the deadline for sign-up is this Friday. And we'll meet Bob and Susan Strong, who found a professional niche combining business and counseling. But first, we want to remind you, today is April 1st, which means it's April Fool's Day. Now, normally our show would have some tomfoolery plan, but there's so much going on at Shell Point that we just don't have time for it this year. Except today, our show will be broadcast upside down. Oh, I'm upside down. Oh, the blood's rushing to my head and... Okay, well, that's enough of that. We don't want people calling the call center to adjust their TVs. So now we're just back to today's normally trustworthy Shell Point Today program. It is indeed the first of the month, which means it is sign-up day. Peruse your April issue of Shell Point Life, and then sign up for your favorite events and activities starting at 8:15 a.m. The Island Service Desk number is 454-2282, and the Woodland Service Desk is 454-2054. Today is also Tuesday, which means it's the weekly meeting of the Living Healthy discussion group. If you're interested in fitness, diet, and the latest health news, then come to this weekly get-together, whether you're a resident or an employee.
This is the Living Healthy group, and we are comprised of employees and residents alike. We meet once a week, and our goal is to take various nutrition, fitness, exercise-related topics and discuss them and become more educated ourselves.
I like Michelle, number one. I've been to her exercise classes that work for me. I like what she imparts for information for us. When I came to Shell Point a year ago, I found that social life was making me gain weight. So I decided to get it off Michelle's way, and she's been a big help for me. I'm down 8 pounds since I started working with her.
Back a while ago when we did the Biggest Loser contest, I realized that I was starting to lose control and gain too much weight, and so I decided to, at that point, that I needed to take better control, and so I decided to start taking some action, and this is one of the things that I'm doing to take that action.
I like the class because it's not only about weight control, but it's healthy eating and just a healthy lifestyle, which is to me more than just weight.
We talked about oils in one class, we're talking about exercise in one, and different types of things that improve our health overall.
We talk here at Shell Point that everyone's like a big family, residents, employees alike, and this is a great class to, like Doris said, not just to get them together and discuss health and nutrition topics, but to be able to meet one another and learn, most importantly, from one another. Every Tuesday here in the Osprey room at 11:45 to 12:15. Feel free to bring your snack, bring a lunch, just very casual atmosphere.
How many of you have been to the Edison home in downtown Fort Myers? If you have ever been there, then you know it's not only a historical landmark, but it's also a plant lover's dream with gardens of all types and sizes. Recently, one more garden was added nearby, the Byrne Davis Botanical Garden. You can learn all about this new garden and see pictures from the president of the Fort Myers Lee County Garden Council, Debbie Wyatt Stoddard. It all happens at the Shell Point Garden Society meeting tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Woodlands Oak Room. There's no cost, and all are welcome. Last week, we showed you the latest construction happening at our newest neighborhood, the Estuary. Undoubtedly, it's going to be a beautiful neighborhood, but you also have the opportunity to benefit from this new neighborhood by taking advantage of a new life care contract, one which offers a refundable entrance fee. Shell Point is offering current residents the opportunity to convert to this new refundable contract, but this is the absolute last week that this chance will be available. Let's hear more from our Vice President of Finance, Tim Lockridge.
Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike here with Shell Point TV. We're talking about a new contract here at Shell Point, and who better to tell us about it than our Vice President of Finance, Tim Lockridge. Tim, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jared.
First, a little background. For its history, Shell Point has generally had one kind of contract, an unlimited contract that includes assisted living and skilled nursing. but there's never been a refund available upon your demise. Well, in 2008, that changed. We adopted the C contract. We have A, B, and C now. And the C contract, which did not include assisted living or skilled nursing, did allow for a refund to your estate. Well, when the estuary was announced recently, Shell Point decided that they could take the best parts of both contracts, the unlimited coverage and the possibility of a refund, and combine them into a new contract called the A Refundable. And this was going to be a new thing coming on just for residents of the estuary. Well, we thought we'd give the opportunity for current residents to take advantage. The reason Tim is here is because the numbers are a little bit complicated, and we have our cheat sheets here, but to give us kind of the bullet point about the refundable contract. What kind of refund is it?
Okay. We have two refund contracts that we've developed, a 75% refund and a 90% refund. Both of those are based upon the age of the resident that's going to be making the conversion. So that calculation comes up with an additional entrance fee that the resident will pay. And for that additional fee, they will then get, upon their demise, either a 75% or a 90% refund to their estate. Okay,
so you pay a certain amount extra up front, and then there's a refund due to their estate.
Right, and that refund, though, is based upon the entire entrance fee that they paid, their original fee plus the additional amount that they paid.
Okay. For a current resident who has already paid their founder's fee,
correct,
it can get a little complex because if they want to take advantage of this contract, there are a fair number of calculations. So give us kind of an example. If a current resident paid a certain amount, take us through a sample of what they would pay.
Okay, if we can look at this example, you'll see that this resident is age 77 years old in our example, which happens to be our average entrance age here at Shell Point. And for that age, the additional fee that will be charged will be 58% on their original entrance fee. 58% is based upon the age of the resident. So the younger the resident is, the less that fee will be. The older the resident, the more that fee will be. So for that additional fee, now let's say that resident paid $100,000 as their original entrance fee. Could have been a couple of years ago. So we add the 58% onto that. We get a total of $158,000. So 58% is the $58,000 additional fee added to their original fee. So they've paid in total $158,000. But for that, on their demise, they will get 75% of that total back as a refund. $118,500 will be their 75% refund upon their demise.
Okay. So there is an opportunity there for someone who possibly wanted to take advantage of a refund, but it wasn't available when they first signed up.
Exactly.
Now they can take advantage, and but there are some eligibility requirements.
Yes.
Tell us about those.
Yeah, just a couple. You have to be 85 years or younger, so not over 85 years old. You have to be living in independent living still. You can't permanently be in assisted living or in skilled nursing. And finally, there'll be a basic health care review just to make sure you haven't contracted any disease recently that would significantly shorten your expected life. But basically, most of our residents should be eligible for this.
So, Tim, there are some details involved in this conversion. For example, if you cancel your contract early, you only get a refund of a certain amount.
That's correct.
So there are some stipulations, so it's important that people contact you.
That's correct. So in our example, the refund would be 75% of that extra $58,000 that was paid, not the entire entrance fee of $158,000.
If someone cancels.
If you cancel, correct.
Yeah, right. And I was talking before we started taping that I've always known with you in charge of the finances, I didn't have to worry about anything because Shell Point is very conservatively run. We wouldn't embark on something like this without knowing that the finances are sound, not only for Shell Point, but also for the resident.
Right.
And that's why this, we call it a contract conversion, is a little complex, and every person will be different. So
exactly.
How would they take advantage of this? What's the first step?
Okay, the first step would be to express their interest to me, that they're interested in possibly converting to this product. They can do that by calling me at 454-2230 or emailing me at timlochridge@shellpoint.org. And that's Lockridge with an H, L-O-C-H-R-I-D-G-E. Everyone gets that wrong.
Right.
So that would be to express an interest, and then I will prepare a personal calculation for them and send that to them along with an informational sheet about the details, some of which we've discussed today. Then if they're still interested after that, they get back to me and we'll set up an appointment to get together and discuss further and hopefully complete the transaction.
Okay. And there is a little bit of deadline because this isn't going to last forever.
That's correct.
Because this is a new contract. This is kind of a one-time chance for you to convert your current contract to a refund if you're interested.
That's correct.
And so the current deadline is?
It will be from January through March of 2014. That will be the period that we offer these conversions, and after that point there will be no more opportunity for conversion after that.
Okay. So this is a one-time thing. If you're interested in contract conversion to a new refundable contract, contact Tim Lochridge. Give me your phone number again.
454-2230.
And you can also email him as well, and he'll work through the personalized calculations to see what the refund would be for you and your estate. So again, this is Jared Pike with Shell Point TV.
And now we have a story about a couple you've probably seen on the cover of this month's Shell Point Life magazine. In his working life, Bob Strong had been part of several successful companies, but found that many of their top executives had more communication needs and spiritual needs than they realized. So Bob started the Strong Leadership Group to minister to these company directors and their families. Even now, during his retirement at Shell Point, Bob counsels many top executives by telephone. Let's get to know Bob and Susan Strong.
Hello, I'm Willie Demarest, and I'm here with a very special couple from Minnesota, Bob and Susan Strong, and I'm so impressed with them. Bob, how did you get started in this? I mean, how old were you when you first started your first business, or how many businesses have you been involved in? I know it's many.
I credit probably my first job with having set the stage. As a farm kid in west central Illinois, at age 12, I signed up to detassel seed corn for the DeKalb Seed Corn Company. The next year, they made me foreman, and all of my crew were older than I was and bigger than I was and tougher than I was, so I learned in a hurry that you had to make people want to work rather than have to work. Oh, yes. And from those skills, I believe that that's followed me in any business we've been in. I've had the most loyal employees you could ever hope to. And that kind of rewards comes from, I believe, treating these people as human beings, treating them as what they are. And they have innate value because they're a child of God. And I treat them that way, and they will do anything for you. As a business owner and talking to other business owners, I realize that it's lonely at the top. Many of these business owners seem to have a need of a listener, somebody who would listen, would talk, they could feel their ideas off of, especially a smaller business that didn't have the luxury of a board. And so some of the things we began doing started when we decided to form something called Strong Leadership Group in 1984. It was founded primarily to fill that need, in order to sit with a business owner. Some of the business owners we sat with an hour a week.
Now, is that to help them in management or in personal relationships or in increasing their business?
The fact is, you can't meet with a business owner an hour a week for years and not have this gradually gravitate over into family. One family in particular, I have met with 4 brothers, 4 sisters, both parents, 2 children, and it just grows that way.
So the Strong group that you have, leadership group, that works with all kinds of businesses and personal relationships within the businesses, is that right? And now you're working with the CEOs and the top management people because of recognizing that loneliness at the top?
Some companies will bring me in. I will meet with all of their top managers, their vice presidents.
Right now you're meeting with 9 heads of company, 9 people in the company, vice presidents, etc. Each one of them an hour and a half a week.
How do you prepare for those?
He prepares and he prays.
I call it my P&P time. I've never felt I had anything to offer other than my faith. So my P&P time refers to preparation and prayer. I always review the notes. I spend an hour. I set aside an hour for every hour and a half session I have coming up, which means if I'm going to meet them at 6 a.m. at my office, I'm there at 5.
Even coming down here, a month's vacation. He
That's
couldn't
easy.
pull himself away. They wouldn't let him pull away. He meets 1/2 to 1 hour with each one every day
By
while we're
telephone?
here. By telephone while we're here.
I remember you sharing one story about how a company grew because, or didn't grow, because the CEO or the president was so intimidating that nobody dared open their mouth in these board meetings or group meetings. Can you share a little of that?
We have one man, he's vice president of manufacturing for a certain company. And when I first met him, I thought, boy, this is not going anywhere. He had just a steely, hard look. I mean, and so I've worked with him every day. I said, warm up your face. And I'd tell him stories and get him, and finally he'd laugh and I'd hold it. You've got it. It's right there. Your eyes warmed up. And everyone in that company is talking about the new Jeff.
And how about other businesses that you've started and owned and ran and managed? And
Well, the main business we operated in Minnesota was called Northland Industries, Inc., and we sold irrigation equipment to farmers and ranchers.
Center pivot.
Yes, it's called center pivot irrigation. It makes the big circles. Anyone that flies has seen the fields that are perfect circles on the ground. That business went very well. I used the airplane in that to get around. And
I was going to ask you how you used your airplane.
I'm a flying junkie. I've flown all my life. I'm a commercial pilot, and I'm certified with Angel Flight, carrying transplant patients and organs to places like Mayo Clinic, Iowa City, Milwaukee, wherever, to or from. I'm also certified with Wings of Mercy, which is a similar organization, and because of those connections and their dispatch system, I'm also certified as a first responder with Homeland Security, which means I can get in the air in 1 hour from the time I get a dispatch.
How did you find out about Shell Point? Are you connected somehow?
We heard about it through our church for 30 years because we belong to an Alliance church. And we just thought, my, this is a wonderful place, but I don't know if we can ever afford to go here.
I pretty well wrote it off that we couldn't afford to be here, but I had another God thing. I had the privilege of being on the national board of the CNMA for a few years, and Peter Dyes, the president of Shell Point, was on that board, and he also reported about Shell Point. We saw the financials, and I would come back to the room often and tell Susan, I said, that man could run any corporation in the country and run it well. I was very impacted with that. And 2 years ago, May, I was giving him a ride to the Colorado Springs airport after a board meeting. And he kind of chided me. He said, Bob, I can't believe you've been Christian Missionary Alliance for 30 years and you've never seen Shell Point. And I said, well, we don't want to tease ourselves. We just never really felt we could afford it. And I'll never forget Peter's words. He said, you need to come down and make us tell you no. And we ended up here, and they showed us this one place, and the view is worth it all, but the people, and we just love our time here.
Well, thank you, Susan and Bob, for sharing that time and all your experiences with us. I'm thankful that you're all listening and tuning into Shell Point TV. This is Willie Demarest saying bye.
It's time now to cover all of Tuesday's happenings from Resort Services. Then stay tuned for your menu choices and Village Church connections.
Hello everyone, my name is Leslie Brand and I'm here with Bev Chanley. And today is April 1st, which means it's Activity Sign-Up Day. So make sure you get to either service desk as early as possible to write down your name or to stand in line because we have a lot of fun-filled activities going on for April. But for now, let me tell you about the activities going on for today. We're going to start bright and early at 7:15 with the Health Connections, Bend, Breathe, and Balance at the Health Club. 8:15, we have Stamp Ministry in the Stamp Room of the Island. 8:30, Ladies Golf Association at the Shell Point Golf Club. Bocce will be at 9 o'clock in the Bocce Courts of the Woodlands. Pickleball will be at 9 o'clock at the Pickleball Court. Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group at 9:15. This will be on the second floor of the Rehab Center on the island. Sign up is required. Open painting at 9:15 in the Art Studio. Shuffleboard is at 9:15 at the Shuffleboard Court. Through the Bible, 10:15 in the Bible Study Group in the Osprey Room on the island. 10:30 Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group. The second floor of the Rehab Center on the island. Sign up is required. 11 o'clock is Susie Q is going out to Rum Runners for lunch. Sign up is required. And lastly, for the morning activities is 11:45. We have a Health Connections Living Healthy in the Osprey Room. Now here's Bev for the afternoon activities.
Thank you, Leslie. We're going to start the afternoon activities with a 12:30 mixed progressive bridge game. That'll be at the game room of the Woodlands. 1:15 we have the Knitters group. That'll be in the Osprey Room. Also at 1:15 we have the Rollicking Recorderists. They'll be in the Tarpon Room down in the tunnel. Our last 1:15 activity is the Women's Ministries Prayer Group. That's held in the Hospitality Room of the Village Church. At 1:30 we have a new Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch. This is at the Life Quest Aquatic Center on the island. Also at 1:30 we have the Stamp Ministry. That'll be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. We have another Health Connections class at 2:45. This one's Balance and Mobility Training Level 2. That'll be in the Health Club and is currently full. At 3:15, the Celebration Ringers Rehearsal will be in the choir room of the Village Church. And 4:15, we have Health Connections class, Tai Chi Cha, the practice sessions. That'll be in the Health Club. That's currently full. Our last activity of the day is 6:45 with the Hymn Sing at the Resident Activities Center. Before we close out today, we do have one activity that we're offering, so check your Shell Point Life magazine for it. April 4th, we have a special show. The Stars on Ice skating program has come back to Germain Arena. It's early in the month, so if you'd like to watch the ice skating shows, make sure that you sign up right away. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Tuesday. The Crystal Room platter is grilled lemon sage chicken with roasted sweet potatoes and broccoli. For dinner, it's build your own stir fry for $12.95. The soup is vegetarian vegetable. In the Island Cafe on Tuesday, lunch is a chicken tender sandwich with fries for $7.25. For dinner, enjoy country fried steak with mashed potatoes and green beans for $8.25. In the Palm Grill, Tuesday night, soft shell crab for $15.95 and grilled pork chop for $14.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Greetings and welcome to Village Church Connections. Over the course of the past few weeks, you've heard us talking about the Women Who Dare to Believe conference happening right here at Shell Point. The dates are April 4 and 5. This is a very special privilege for all of us and an opportunity we are very excited about. Friday night will be a 90-minute dramatic presentation that highlights many of the women in the Bible. A dessert buffet is being provided for this event, and everyone is invited, men and women. Doors will open at 6:30, and here's a preview of what you can expect.
Two veteran actresses bring to life 21 women from the Scriptures. Bonnie Keene and Nan Gurley portray the women God used to fulfill the covenant and bring in the Messiah. With cutting-edge dialogue, original music, and creative interaction with the audience, this 90-minute musical will inspire viewers with the stories of women who dared to believe and pushed against the pressures and culture of their day. The scarlet thread of hope runs through the stories of Rahab, Tamar, Leah and Rachel, Deborah and Esther, Anna and Mary. Like women today, these women knew this was their hour. This was their moment. On a bare stage, two women using 20 feet of scarlet fabric leave audiences breathless with the stories of the blood of Jesus running through time, from the garden to the empty tomb.
Tickets for Friday night only are $15, and they are available by calling the church office at 454-2147 or stop by at your convenience. We encourage you not to miss this meaningful evening. Then ladies, Nan Gurley and Bonnie Keene will be leading 3 sessions on Saturday for ladies only. Tickets for the entire weekend are $45 and include the Friday night performance and 3 Saturday sessions, as well as a delicious catered lunch. Those tickets are available as well at the Village Church. So please join us April 4 and 5. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as Joni Reagan tells us about the new benefits now available in Medicare for 2014. We'll also talk to Dick Wright, who is using his artistic skill to get the word out about a good cause. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April 1st. I'm Dan Filgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.